Welcome to the Emma Heaven online magazine and the March issue of the LWA. Joining me on tonight's panel are Christy Heaven.
Hello.
And Wendy Thomas.
Hola.
Well, because the news is monopolised at the moment with back to school talk, I thought we would all go back to school. So you were all sent a little questionnaire for homework, and I'm going to delve right in. So there's a series of questions, and I'm going to start with question number 1 to Christy. What was your best subject in school, Christy?
Now, it's a joint first for me between English and drama, because they were my absolute favourites. And I think whenever you're asked, like, what was your best subject, it's usually your favourite as well, because I think you always do better in the stuff that you love. So for me, it was English and drama because I loved writing, I loved acting silly, so I loved English and drama.
Mine was drama as well because, you know me, I love to show off and dance and act and sing and prance about on a stage. Wonderful. Wendy, what was your best subject in school? You've got to really cast your mind back some decades now, Wendy.
Yeah, music.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Music. I used to love music lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah, and gymnasts and, all that.
Oh.
I used to love all that.
Oh.
But as for actual lessons, I can't even remember.
Okay. So the next one was, what was your worst subject, Christy?
Mine was maths. I think when it comes to numbers, my brain just goes and it just melts. And there's just like, once I got like a routine down of how to work out sums, I could do it. But if someone just like asked me timetables, I'm just not the type of person who remembers them off the top of my head. And numbers, I think because I preferred English, maths was always like the bad subject that I didn't really want to go to.
Oh, mine was Welsh. Oh God, how I hated Welsh. I just would sit there. It doesn't make sense. The language just does not make, to me, it doesn't make any sense. And I would just, I'd be there clock watching and thinking, why am I sat here? And I cannot believe that I chose it over French for GCSE. I remember sitting in the lessons going, really, that was a wrong decision. So I absolutely hated Welsh.
What's really funny, though, is that I regret not taking Welsh, and I've now started learning Welsh on an app called Duolingo.
Yeah.
Because I regret not learning it, because now I feel left out.
Yeah. Oh, it's like for the February issue, my introduction video that we put on social media, I thought I'm going to speak a bit of Welsh by her, so I'll do the welcome to Wales, which, I thought Cymru was Wales. But when I Googled it, it was Croeso I Gymru, and I'm like, well, why have you changed the C to a G? Can anybody explain it to me? It's just...
They're interchangeable in the Welsh language.
Yeah, and it's not easy, is it? It's really hard when, as I said, when the word changes in different scenarios. Yeah, they lost me. Never mind. I wish I'd have done the French. Wendy.
But you saying that about the Welsh, what really annoys me is if you are in a group of people and they're all speaking Welsh and you say, oh, don't speak Welsh now because of, I don't know what you're saying, sort of like thing. Yeah. And they're like, oh, right, okay. And they'll start speaking English for a while. Then after a while, then they start speaking Welsh. So I used to make up my own. I'd be saying like, oh, would you mind a hun? And things like that. And they'd be like looking at me thinking, what the hell is she saying? And I just make up would you mind that one? Yeah. So,
Jules does that when she's trying to impress her English friends, because obviously she's from Yorkshire, isn't she, Jules? So she said, I just read out street names and county names and string them all together and everybody thinks I'm speaking Welsh.
Good idea. The lessons I was worse at, it must be maths, English, history, geography, languages. What
Anything
else
apart
was there?
from music and gymnastics.
Yeah.
Okay. All right then. So what I want you to think of next, or tell us about a memorable school trip. Because they used to be the highlight of the year, didn't they? The school trips. Look at our
Who did
face.
you go to? Bristol Zoo. Was our bloody school trips? And the Tower of London was another one.
Oh, that's brilliant. The Tower of London. Oh,
That was it.
that was it.
You know, I never went to schools where they went skiing and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And if they did, obviously I never went. We could never bloody afford it. But no, Bristol Zoo and London Bridge, that was it.
I remember in primary school, we went to London and France. It was like a 4-day trip. So it was 3 days in London and then over on the ferry to Boulogne to go to the market. But when we were in London, we went to London Zoo. We went to the Palladium to see Barnum. Then we went to another theatre to see The Sound of Music. And it was an absolutely brilliant trip. And as I said, you know, going over on the ferry then. So exciting. And I knew French francs then because it wasn't the euro, it was the French francs. So yeah, that was memorable. Christy?
Yeah, London. I think when it comes to when you're in Wales, I think the big trip for any school is the London trip. Everyone gets excited for London. And when we went, it was the London Eye when it was brand new.
Ooh, yeah.
And we went to Madame Tussauds. And we did St. Paul's Cathedral, and then we had like burgers in like a nearby burger place before going home. And that was like amazing at the time because like, you know, you're used to, you know, just going to the beach or going to St. Fagans, but going to London was the big, huge trip that everyone wanted to go on.
Right. Okay, so the next one is, do you have any school play highlights? Did you take part in any school plays? You know, did you get the lead or was it something memorable, Wendy? Were you ever in a school play, Went?
I can't say we done school plays.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think we had drama classes, though. I really don't think, I can't remember drama classes.
Well, we are going back.
I went to mine, from the Bryn. It's like an old workhouse.
They have you scrubbing the floors, did they?
Yes. So, no.
Speaking of scrubbing floors, I played Annie in the school play and I really, really enjoyed that. But in my I think it was either the final year or the year before we left, they were about to do Alice in Wonderland. And we were really, really excited. And I got the part of the White Rabbit, which is the part I wanted because he's just so cute and fluffy and he running through Wonderland and everyone following him and whatever. And I remember the choir, they all were learning all the songs, the orchestra, and then all of a sudden they pulled it. I can't remember for what reason, but it was scrapped and I remember being devastated and really upset that I didn't get to play the White Rabbit. Christy?
I think mine, I was in every single school play possible. But I think my favourite role was playing the Cowardly Lion in The Wizard of Oz. But because it was the most, like everyone was like, oh, don't you want to be Dorothy? I'm like, Dorothy's no fun.
No.
I got to be the lion and run and cry and act crazy.
Yeah.
And I always remember it because I would have my makeup done by someone else because I was that bad at doing makeup. And I remember going on in the first night and coming back off after the first thing. And my friend was like, you look like a tiger, not a lion. And my friend had done the whiskers so big that it looked like tiger stripes.
Oh, dear. Oh, gosh. Right then. The next one is, did you belong to any after-school clubs? Wendy, did they have them back in the day?
School orchestra, and I played the cornets.
Oh, little tutor. Christy?
Yeah. I dabbled.
You dabbled.
I did orchestra in primary, and then in the comp it was either after school study revision classes, boring, or the plays and the drama stuff.
Yeah, I went to a lot of performing arts. Yeah, as I said, if there was a school play on, you'd have the after-school rehearsals. I was in the school orchestra, went to all the music clubs as well. So, we're quite similar, aren't we? We're all bloody show-offs. Okay, right. Were you in a sports team, Wendy?
Yes.
Oh!
I was in cross country.
Yeah.
I was, what you call it? We bounce the ball and put it through the net. Netball. Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah. That's it.
I did netball and rounders in primary school, but when we went to secondary school, the only sports I did was running away from PE and trying to invent excuses why I didn't want to or couldn't do PE. So, not very sporty. Christy?
Yeah, so in primary I did netball, and then in comp I was in football for a brief moment. But in both situations, I was completely confused because in primary they put me in centre position for netball. And if you know anything about netball, you don't put the shortest player in the role where you need to grab the ball.
Yeah.
And I just remember the first team we ever versed, and she was a giant.
Yeah.
And I was tiny.
Yeah.
And then when you threw the ball up, I never got it.
But
so we lost miserably.
You could never have been goal attack or goal shooter because you were too far away from the net.
I was just too short. And then in football, they wanted me to be the goalkeeper. And I'm like, there's no one less intimidating than me as a goalkeeper.
And you're too little as well. I mean, you would have had to have dashed.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? So,
that to be on like a little mini trampoline.
Yeah. Oh. Well, the next question is, did you play any musical instruments? Wendy, you touched on the cornet. Was that the only one?
I the piano.
Oh.
Yes. I'm playing on an organ now and then if I can get hold of one.
Okay. What school did you go to? Christy.
So once again, I dabbled. I started violin, hated it. I think the teacher practically kicked me out of violin because I was so bad. But I still wanted to be in the orchestra, so she put me on xylophone. But even then, I was so bad at xylophone that I pretended to play in the concerts. I would pretend that I was actually playing, and then everyone's like, is Christy playing? And I'm like, yeah, of course I am. And then in comp, I played the flute for a couple of years. But then if you don't take music, you can't continue your instrument.
Right.
So.
Oh, well, this is my brag bit now because I can't list all the instruments I can play because it's too many. But I was one of these. If you gave me an instrument and walked out of the room, come back half an hour later, I could play it. From flutes, clarinets, oboes, bass, bassoons, saxophone, trumpet, trombone, violin, viola, cello. I know. I was just really good with my hands and mouth.
I never thought of reprising any of them.
Well, I did with the piano, and then obviously we started the magazine, so I needed the piano room for the studio, so I got rid of that, and I'm gutted I did. But no, I don't know. I just haven't got this yearning to. Perhaps I wouldn't mind having a go at the sax again. No, but I hate the violin. As I said, it's such a. Sometimes it can go through you, can't it? So, but yeah, I was bloody good. So yeah, that's my brag. So what's the next question? Okay. So did your school have an Eisteddfod being Welsh? I mean, used to be an annual event in most schools. So did you have an Eisteddfod? If you did, can you remember which house you belonged to, Christy?
Oh yeah, Eisteddfod was the biggest thing of the year.
Yeah.
Because it was birds of prey in primary. So it was eagles, falcons, ospreys, and hawks. And I
Yeah.
was in eagles. And we were very competitive. Like the teachers got so competitive that they had like how many years they'd won in a row. There would be huge competitions and like trying to like beat the other team.
Yeah.
And like I don't want to brag, but I was I was easily the MVP, the most valuable person in Eagles at the time because I won everything. I just won the Welsh poems, the Welsh songs.
Yeah, and me.
Even stuff from the handwriting.
Yeah.
Like we had handwriting competitions and baking competitions.
Yeah. Yeah. I was the same. I was in Gwyneth's house. I was named after the counties, which was Gwyneth, Dyfed, Gwent and Powys when I was in primary. And then when I think we went to secondary, it was Morgannwg as well then. They'd swapped one of them. I think it was Gwent for Morgannwg. But yeah, I used to win everything, enter everything. And it was really competitive, wasn't it? So you'd have months of it, wouldn't you? And you'd have to make models, do poems, write stories, sing songs. So yeah. Wendy?
Yes, we used to have the Eisteddfod. I haven't got a clue what they were called. But I remember you have to sit through these most boring bloody things in the big school hall. And I just used to sit there and chat to my friends.
No. Okay. All right. So the next question, and I really can't, I can't see this being appropriate to Wendy or me. Were you chosen to be prefect or head girl? No. Come on, Swat.
I was deputy in primary. Yes, I was deputy. But it was a controversial choice because everyone thought it was going to be me. Eisteddfod winner of 3 years in a row, but it went to Chloe. It went to Chloe, and everyone was like, and I was sobbing in the background.
I just said, take your deputy, and if I can't be head girl, I'm not being anything. Well,
there's something really sad about deputy. Like it's just, a consolation prize. You didn't get it, but here's a different coloured badge. Here you go.
I had no chance, none whatsoever. And you'll find out why in the next question, which is what bad behaviour landed you on the naughty step? So, Wendy, what was your...
I wasn't, because I was brought up in the Salvation Army. So I never used to do anything naughty. That's why I'm so frigging wild now, because I spent most of my youth as a goody little two-shoes. So, no. I'm struggling this month with these questions.
Christy, any bad behaviour that landed you on the naughty step?
So there's one. And the thing is, I am such a swot. I was such a teacher's pet that this one thing haunts me even to this day. So basically, we were going up to outside to do some little game, and it was up on a top yard. We had to go up some steps, and my friend at the time tripped on the steps, cut open her knee. And my first instinct was, I need to take her to the first aid. But I didn't tell my teacher before running with my friend to the first aid.
Yeah.
And she thought we'd gone missing.
Oh, God.
And she thought we'd either got lost, been kidnapped. I don't know what she thought had happened to us.
Yeah.
But when she found us, I got the biggest row of the century. It was so bad that teachers in the staff room came out to check on me. I was sobbing. Screams could be heard up the corridor. All because I wanted to take my friend to have her knee plaster on it.
Oh, bless. Oh, but that's not really naughty, is it?
No.
Well, mine was... for the entire, well, half the you got 2 years of GCSE, so half the the second half of the first year and the first half of the last year. So it's an entire year. I went to school in the morning, registered, and then buggered off to my friend's house, Donna's house, to watch Neighbours and eat toast. So it was an entire 12 months I didn't go to any lessons. In my defence, it was the year that Charlene and Scott got married on Neighbours.
Oh, well.
I remember coming home and my mother going, I've had a letter from the school. And I could just feel all the blood drain out of my face. And that was it. The next door neighbour had shopped us for making such a noise and, being home all day. But an entire year. But you know what really peeved a lot of my friends is missing an entire year. I passed all my GCSEs.
Oh, no.
No less.
Yeah.
So yeah, that really did land me on the naughty step in school and at home, because prior to that, like you, Christy, I had been like a star pupil, doing all the orchestra, the choir and the plays and everything, and then good Emma turned into naughty Emma. So okay. So the last one is, what was your biggest achievement in school, Wendy?
I think it's when I had 99 out of 100 for a music exam.
Well done, you.
Yes.
Really pleased with that, weren't you?
Yes, that's all I can remember.
That's all I can.
And I'd have to go back to the depth of being in school.
Yeah, it's round about the time Noah built the ark, wasn't it?
It was. It was. It was. Yes. But I'm still going over the beach, pecking cockles.
Christy, what do you think your biggest achievement was in school?
I think for me it was so during when we were doing Wizard of Oz, our play was recognised as one of the best in Swansea. So they asked us to come and perform at the Grand Theatre. And at the time, that was the biggest thing that had ever happened. And my teacher chose my solo as the part to do in the Grand Theatre. So I was just over the moon. And not only did I get to perform on the grand stage, but to know that out of the entire play, she was like, let's do the bit around Christy's solo. That was a really big highlight for me.
Lovely. Oh, well, mine is a bit of a brag, but mine was in secondary school, and because I was part of Manisbach Choir, it was quite a famous choir. I remember actually, Wendy, your father recording us in Tabernacle Chapel in Morris.
All right, yeah.
We were singing with the Pontardawe Male Voice Choir, and I remember your father was there to record it and meeting him, so that was exciting. But being a part
of the Royal Albert Hall, mine. I suppose that's good.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Well, Manisbach Choir got chosen 3 times, twice to sing on the Margaret Williams show, which was a big TV programme on S4C, which was newly launched. And we also got chosen then to sing on, it was called Let the Children Sing, and they had every secondary school in Wales go to St David's Hall, but our choir were on the stage, like everybody else was in the audience all around us, and our school got chosen to be centre stage. So yes, it was singing on TV 3 times, so my biggest achievement. And probably I held the record for not turning up to school. Any other good school memories? No.
I was in an old girls' school, man.
So was I.
Oh, no.
And no, Christy wasn't, was it? No, it changed by then, hadn't it? So,
yeah.
Oh, well, it was quite interesting to hear all your school days. I mean, I can't believe Wendy was so well-behaved and tame, So...
I still messed around, still had laughs and all the rest of it, but I wasn't Wild.
Well, that's it, ladies. Our time is up on Zoom. It's telling me to end, or it's going to kick us out. So, can you say goodbye to everybody, Wendy Thomas?
Goodbye.
Say goodbye, Christy Heaven.
Bye.
And goodbye from me, Emma Heaven. See you next month.